Hey guys, Shatter here. Now, with this video, I'm just going to be mostly talking about the reinforcements updates to Enlisted, the upcoming ones. I'm not going to be including the Moscow one because, let's face it, Flamethrower 2s and these, I don't really have anything on these, but really, I'm probably going to be using the Lewis gun and, I'm going to be talking about the Lewis gun mostly, but yeah, other than that, I'm not going to be talking about Moscow. I'm mostly going to be talking about Tunisia and Berlin, as well as, of course, Normandy, because I pretty much only play Normandy. And I'm also going to be starting off, however, talk about something. This just dropped, so this legitimately just dropped. So I was originally going to be planning to just do these two, but since this dropped, I'm going to scoop it in. Otherwise, I probably won't make a video on it. Armor analysis has just been added, so it lets you see. Well, first off, it lets you see the X-ray of tanks. It also lets you, analyze different armor, which I think is actually really, really good. Because I think it'll be very useful, especially for people who have trouble taking out tanks. Like for me with Panthers, like people or T-34s. People, of course, struggle with Jumbos. I personally struggle a little bit with Panzer IIIs as well, so that's pretty good. Anyways, now let's move on to the meat and bread of the video, which is, of course, talking about the new campaign levels and basically my honest opinions on them. We'll start with Normandy, then we'll move on to Tunisia, then we'll move on to Berlin. Now, let's start with Normandy. Now, with Normandy, the Trooper 3s for the Germans are useless. This is a useless upgrade, in my opinion. It's just... why? Like, the Kar 98K with the shooting cup is already in the game. Yeah, you can use this to attack weak spot from vehicles. So does you can just use the Panzerfaust. You can just use the Sturm pistol. You can just use an explosive pack, or you can mark out the tank for another person. It's like this is like the worst option to use for this. So. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. The M1 Garand, yeah, I kinda get it. Like, we've already got the M1 Carbine with the M8 grenade launchers. This would be the M7, I believe. The M1 Garand had the M7. But I think they should have added a little bit more. Like, you can see here, they also just added a plane, which, it's a plane. I'm not going to say anything about it. And the premium squads, Churchill 3 was outdated by this time, and the Stug 3, Java checker, and the Stug 3 isn't that good. Really, like, it's not good for a premium squad, because the Stug 3 was the most common tank that the armoured vehicle that the Germans actually built in World War II. So, yeah. And the Churchill, it's in the wrong campaign now. I'm going to be talking about this. I'm also going to lump in the Lewis here, who's in the wrong campaign. But the Churchill should already be in Tunisia right now, and I'm going to talk about that soon. The Sig should probably be in the base game, not in the premium squad. Like, you could make an argument that, say, I don't know, another premium squad vehicle. Like, if the stick was already in the game, maybe you could justify this. It would still be shit. It would be like the Panther 4J one, but it's not even in the game. That's the problem. Anyway, let's talk about Tunisia now. Tunisia, the snipers, I generally agree with. The Lee Enfield number 4, which is still misspelled. Seriously. How have they not fixed this yet? And the Sniper Carcano, they're good. They're good rifles. Good sniper rifles. Really good sniper rifles, in my opinion. And I think this will be this is a really good change for snipers. For 28, they've got the tanks, which is the Crusader finally, and the Panzer 3J. Personally, I know people don't. People are not happy with the German vehicle, Germans being in Tunisia. But I think this is an exception. This, and the same with the next one, is the exception to the rule, because the Panzer III-J is, well, let's face it, they're out of Italian tanks. They're out of Italian tanks to use, really. Like, the only Italian tank I know that they haven't used is the L3, which, really, if they added the L3, it would be probably, what, a level 1 upgrade. A level 1 downgrade, more like. Thing was a piece of shit. But the Crusader and the Panzer III-J, I think these are the, pretty good comparison level. And, yeah, I think this is actually really good. Like, but this is where I disagree. First off, the Germans actually have a decent option here, the MG34. Now, I know that I've ranted about this, and I know other people have ranted about this by saying Tunisia isn't really, Italians versus British like we thought it was going to be. It's basically, Italians, it's basically Normandy, but with more British and Italian weapons. But I will agree with the MG34 being added, because, let's face it, the MG34 is a very, compared to the Italian, the LMG is already in the game, it's really good. Yeah, I know, you unlock it 4 times now, it's the 4th time you have to unlock it. But I think this is actually a good thing. The BAR-A2, though, no. This should have been the Lewis. Like, I did say earlier that I was going to be talking about the Lewis here. I really do like the Lewis. This should have been the Lewis, where the Lewis is. Now, the BAR-A2 is a great weapon, don't get me wrong. I love the A2. But it should not be in Tunisia. It should be the Lewis. The Lewis should be here, not the A2. For the premium squads, I don't care. Hurricane and a BF-110. Sorry. These actually, I think, are quite interesting. These premium squads are quite interesting. Moroccan Reserve divisions and San Marino divisions. Using basically bayoneted soldiers with, I don't know, they're not using non-iconic weapons and bayonets. I think these are interesting. Actually, these are interesting. This is an interesting troop squad. It's kind of like the Soviets and Germans in Berlin, the Lebel and whatever the Soviet squad is. It's not the Arasaka, that's in Moscow. But it's like those squads. So I think decent squad. If it's a cheap squad, then sure, could be worth a buy. Same with it's like the Lebel squad, could be worth a buy. Anyways, let's move on to Berlin. Start off the Panzerfaust 100. I think this is a good thing. Maybe if they add the Panzerschreck a little bit later, it could be redundant, but I think it's decent. It's going to be a Panzerfaust, so yeah, it's basically going to Shrek tanks. Which, speaking of, you get the IS-1 and the Panzerkampfwagen 6 Tiger. So yeah, basically, it's the Tiger, it's the IS-1. Now, people are saying, why isn't the IS-2? Now, the reason I think it's not the IS-2 this time is I believe they are trying to get it to level 40. Like, they're bringing all the campaigns to level 40 before stopping them. And I believe that's when the IS-2 will come. That and and probably the King Tiger. And yeah, like, it says here, is anything more need to be said about the machines that everyone knows? Yeah, nothing needs to be said here. It's the Tiger. Like, and the IS-1 is still really good. I'm going to look forward to try and grind up. I'm literally grinding up. Yeah. I'm literally grinding up, Berlin, just because I want to use these. And here you've got the you've got what's it? A prototype weapon, which is the prototype, more like a prototype Gavir 43, and a prototype, some sub prototype. Like, I don't get what this is. This looks like some bootleg. This looks like that Polish SMG that the guy made in his basement. It kind of looked like that. But yeah, that's the premium squad. Just a bunch of you know, you get this bootleg drum mag, and you get a prototype Gavir 43. Anyways, I think this one's actually going to be a bit better. Anyways, I'm going to call this video here. Basically, those are my real opinions on this. To put a number into this, I think that the Normandy one is shit. Let's just face it. The Tunisia one is okay, is mostly good, other than the BAR. And the Berlin one is really, really good. Anyways, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe if you have, and I'll see you guys in the next one.